So what do you call yourself? Welcome to the LaTangela Show. Hey.
Hey, what can I do for you this fine day?
This is your destiny.
Hot, hot, hot. Right now.
Welcome to the LaTangela Show.
Kick it.
Come on in and enjoy yourself.
Right now.
We gon' party like no one else. Welcome to the LaTangela Show.
Max 94.1, Baton Rouge's official #1 for hip hop and R&B. It's the voice inside your speaker box, LaTangela Fay, and you know it does my heart well to have this guy off the billboards, off of all of the commercials, and in the hot seat and on the tan line, none other than the Gordon McKernan. How
Hello,
are
Tan.
you?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
No, you know, it's always a great time whenever you show up and show out, and you do so much for the community, and we say thank you for all that you and the team are really putting in.
Oh, well, it's easy to do. I'm surrounded by a great group of people up at the company, especially in the marketing department, and people who want to give with their hearts.
Yeah.
And it's easy for me to get behind such a good group of people and to give back to this community that's been so great to myself and my family.
Absolutely. And I've been having a blast with Gordon Gives and Tan Cares and our 225 Bulletin Board initiative.
Yeah.
Seeing so many of the nominations roll through at 225bulletinboard.com. They're nominating the teachers and support team members, telling us why they feel they deserve to be Teacher of the Month. And Gordon, those are some tear-jerking letters that's coming through.
Yeah, well, I got to give you thanks for being the champion of this initiative and pioneering it. And sometimes you pull the wagon in life, and sometimes the wagon pulls you, or the horses pull you. In this case, it's certainly you pulling the wagon, and it's my delight to be a part of it and to partner with you in this collaborative initiative. I think it's a great thing. Recognizing our teachers in our schools is so important, and they do create the foundation of the youth of tomorrow, and just happy to support those teachers.
Right, and I appreciate it more than you know. With this, once we select our 2 winners per month, they'll receive $250, some space on some of our billboards as a token of our appreciation to say thank you. We see you. We cannot do this without you. And then we also read some of the nomination letters on air. And I'm sitting here trying my best to fight back tears like, wait, I'm gonna get through this. I have to go back and start all the edits.
Yeah.
But while it's still in full effect, we need you to place your nominations today. So log on to 225bulletinboard.com. Again, that's 225bulletinboard.com. And thank you to the entire G team, because when I tell you, they raise the bar every single day in order to get it done.
They do a great job. And like I said, it's easy to support an initiative like this.
Absolutely. And I want you to keep it locked right where you have it. It's Max 94.1. Good morning, good morning, good morning, sunshine. How are you?
I'm good, Tan. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on.
Anytime. You know, I am grateful that you took time out of your schedule to join me today in the hot seat and on the tan line, because I've got questions that need answers.
I'm here to answer everything I can without spoiling anything.
Okay, of course not. I don't want any spoiler alerts. I have my popcorn, I got all the snacks, and I'm ready for this, right? So here it is. You are a professional storyteller. You know how to bring some of the most colorful stories to life and from different perspectives. So now here we are with the Pradeeps of Pittsburgh. So this family, they're making this big transition. Everybody is seeing it through a different set of lens, but there's an interrogation light. And it's getting brighter and brighter and brighter. And it seems that everybody can get it. Tell me a little bit about the thought process of putting this together.
So, in truth, my family moved from Pittsburgh, from India to Pittsburgh. And all that, we came for, in the show, the dad has a SpaceX contract. In real life, it was a NASA contract to build rocket parts. That's all in the show. And we would have we had lived in a mostly entirely white neighborhood, and we had these neighbors, and we had the teenagers and all that, and we'd interact with them. And in the show, they're being interrogated, right? As you said, it's a family comedy told as a criminal investigation. That's how I love to pitch it. And the reason I did that is because I wanted everybody to tell their story, their point of view of what happened, of their life in America, moving here. And I said, what's the best way? But I wanted them to tell it differently. I'm like, when do people tell stories differently? And I think when they're in trouble. When people are in trouble, they tell stories differently. Sometimes they paint themselves in a better light, you know. So that's where it came from. And I was like such a huge fan of like shows like True Detective. I'm like, how come I haven't seen this in a family show? How come I haven't seen people telling their story because they're kind of in a little bit of trouble, but it's just their story. It's not about what happened. It's about what led to it. And that's just life. Life leads to things, right?
It does.
So that's where it came from. It's how do I tell one family's story 5 different ways?
And I love it because, there's a level of transparency that's there. Of course, everybody want to talk about, oh yeah, the success of the story, but nobody wants to talk about the pains that came along with that transition. When a little guy walks in and said, what's a Pittsburgh? Okay, so now you're completely green. You have absolutely no idea. This is a whole new life for you in all types of facts. And all you can do is trust the leadership and the guidance of your family, who has absolutely no idea. But we're really going to figure this out together. So with that, there's a level of transparency where you had to say, I'm going to leave this part on the cutting room floor. How did you know what parts to tell and what parts you say, yeah, I might want to just leave that out for the next episode?
That's a perfect. So we did a puzzle. So I had a writer's room and I did a puzzle piece. And I'm like, okay, these are the 8 things that we did 8 episodes in season 1. I'm like, these are the 8 story points I want to tell. What is the best way to tell it? And should we tell it through a family story? Should we tell it through a relationship story? Should we just tell it through just what's the funniest thing you could think of? Like what is the funniest, most shocking thing? Not for shocking's sake, but like shocking, like twist, cliffhanger we could think of, because we want to tell it like kind of like in this cliffhanger investigation. And we would take these pieces, and I'm a trained engineer, so I like to think I have a beautiful mind. Yes, I went to school for engineering and finance. I have a dual degree. I took a wicked left turn out of college at the last
That's a whole
minute.
nother question, like.
Yeah. Dan, I had accepted a job offer at Goldman Sachs. A week before I was moving to Manhattan, my best friend from college called me. He had moved to Los Angeles, and he goes, Vijal, I'm going to pitch you the craziest pitch you've ever heard in your life. I'm like, go for it. You're my best friend. I think you should move to Hollywood to be a comedy writer. I'm on the phone like this. This is the look on my face.
Out of all the things he could have said, this is, and it worked. He saw something in you that maybe you did not see in yourself, and voila.
He saw who I was as a person. He didn't see me as a student. He didn't see me as an academic. He goes, all you ever do is tell funny stories. That's your whole life. Every day I've known you, you've come in to our dorm room and you said, check out what just happened. And you tell this like 20-minute hilarious story about what just happened to you. This is what TV writing is. I'm like, that is what TV writing is.
That is amazing. I simply love that. And the fact that you saw it, you trusted it, and you nurtured it, that's somebody recognizing a God-given talent, because you can't buy that. And for you to have the longevity in it and for doors to continuously open, it was because you said, okay, and you answered a call, literally, but you answered a call with the calling on your life. And wow. I mean, but you always have the dual degrees to fall back on. So it's good to have that too. When, they never just expire.
They don't expire. Exactly. They're not like Groupons.
Right.
But when I reflect upon the choices I've made and reflect upon like where I am right now with the Pradeeps of Pittsburgh, I think, of course, my family themselves, they took the biggest risk in the world. They left the life in India and moved to Pittsburgh. Of course they took big swings. So I told my parents, like, of course I'm taking this big swing. I got it from you. I learned it from watching you.
Oh, wow. No, you did not twist it that way. You know what? Go to your corner. You're in timeout. I learned it from watching you. We're like, well, you kind of did.
Yeah, right?
I love it.
Me. So that's, to that point, that's why I'm doing the show, because I want to show the show of people who come, people who have a dream, people who love America. It's like as a kid, I like I say, I grew up in India when I was a little kid, and it was a playground to me. There's there's like elephants and peacocks, literally, like just outside. And when I moved to Pittsburgh, it was the exact opposite. It was the forest, it was deer, it was snow, it was Steelers, it was penguins, like not penguins, the animals, penguins, the hockey players. To me, brand new playground. I was like, this is just as amazing as, and so that optimism captured in the character that's sort of loosely based off me in the show, the little kid, was one thing. My mom was like, my entire life has been upended, and now I'm here in Pittsburgh, which is freezing. We don't even have winter coats. So to her, it was like the end of her world. So imagine those two in the same family sitting at the same table eating pizza. That's what I wanted to show, is that one family having one experience has 5 different points of view on it. And they're all wonderful. They're all like as equally fraught as they are joyous, as they are loving, as they are fearful. That's the experience, because that's the family experience. That's the human experience. It's not just about immigrants. That's how everybody is. And that's why I say, when you watch the Pradeeps of Pittsburgh, if you lean into this show, you'll see yourself reflected off of it, right? As a parent, as an immigrant, as a white person, as a Black person, as a struggling person, as a person who loves things, you'll see something of yourself in this show. This I promise you. And you'll laugh.
And I love it. Even putting a new twist and perspective for those who are in America. Don't take it for granted. Your family, they uprooted their lives from India to come to America for greater opportunities, took the risk, so we can't walk these beautiful streets of a place that we call home that has granted so many opportunities for granted. And I'm excited for you because right now we can watch it. It is streaming Prime Video. We have Amazon Freebie. We have the Pradeeps of Pittsburgh, and just understanding the saga, I feel like a distant cousin. So for the next series, I'm here for you, cuz.
Where are you in Frederick? Where are you in Fredericksburg?
No, in Louisiana. So you know what? That's the next field trip. You got to make a field trip to Louisiana.
That's it. Tan of Louisiana. I'll do that. We'll do
I'm
that.
here for it.
It's amazing. I love Louisiana, by the way. Last time I went there was for a wedding in Nolens.
Yeah.
And, like an asshole, I kept. I'm sorry if I swore.
Oh no, that's good. You're good.
It's like I love it. I love that. But to that point, like I love. People are like, why'd you set it in Pittsburgh, and why did you put Pittsburgh in the title? I'm like, because there's regions of America that all have their own personality. They really do. Yeah. And I hope to like do other shows of other families in other areas, because that specificity and that other like regional thing is so American. It's so American to me that Pittsburgh is different. Pittsburgh's different from Philly. Like Pittsburgh is that. Louisiana is different from Mississippi. These are all. And to show that specificity, it's almost a celebration of this country too. Like I mean that, because I love.
Oh, it's one of the
America.
most unique places ever. It's like you can't miss. And the different perspectives is always going to give you something that's new, something that's different. And Vijal, to be honest with you, half of the stories got to go to the grave with me, because it's gonna get us some jail time. But you know what? I'm here for it. Call me collect.
That's. Share your joy, though. Share your truth, because that's what we do. That's how we connect. I said it's called the Pradeeps of Pittsburgh, but it's going to connect with the Smiths in Los Angeles, and it's going to connect with the Connors in Chicago. It will, because that story is so universal. I wrote on Blackish for many seasons. We were at the Emmys all the time,
Genius.
stuff like that, and that show is absolutely brilliant. And I took a lot of that. I took a lot of lessons from that show. Is that, hey, as an Indian, I loved writing that show because I connected to that show, because I understood that show was about assimilation. That's about how do you keep your family true, but how do you let them grow? How do you let them grow in their own way? And that's the immigrant story. That's the Black story. That's the even people who are like, on the show I worked on before that was The Middle, which was about a poor white family, the exact opposite, went for 10 seasons. And I'm like, these are the same show. These are the same show.
Even when you can make the uncomfortable comfortable enough to make it dinner table ready. So there's truth and transparency. You got levels and layers. And I know that you have so many new chapters that you're writing, and I want to be in on all of it. So consider this an extension of your office. Whenever you have something going on, you tell them, I need to jump in the hot seat. I got to be on this tan line, and you can consider it done.
Oh, thank you, Tan. And thank you for having the Pradeeps of Pittsburgh on the tan line.
Yes.
It's the next great family comedy. It's number one TV comedy on the Amazon Prime right now. So watch it, you'll love it.
Yes, indeed. And I know you have more work to do, so I'm gonna let you chase the sun or let the sun chase you. But either way, get after it. I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
Thank you, Tim.
See you soon.
See you soon. Bye bye.